And when it's going all over in the air, you're seeing this thing jump and going greyhounding in front of you. They can tow you for miles.
January 2007. Fishing Mecca, Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Adventure angler Jonathan Schwartz is on a mission to fish record-sized marlin. The only catch? He plans to do it from a kayak.
There's 2 thin layers of plastic that's separating you from a huge monster fish.
To reach open ocean, Jonathan tows out attached to a small transport boat. On board's a trusted crew, but they can only help the ambitious angler for so long. Big game kayak fishing's extremely dangerous. Even the most skilled sportsman can lose a limb, his boat, or his life.
What can go wrong on a kayak? Well, first of all, the fish can pull you over. Another thing that obviously can happen is that with their pointed beaks, they can skewer you, or they can skewer the kayak.
Jonathan's heard rumors there's a huge marlin population on the hunt for prey, but so far he's struck out.
I was paddling around all day, miles, and I was exhausted. Till right before the day was over, we decided for one last try.
Suddenly, he spots dive-bombing birds, sure sign of mackerel schooling below, and a marlin feeding frenzy. Jonathan begins paddling furiously. He casts a baited reel. But the angler faces a triple challenge: scouting, rowing, and fishing, all at the same time.
And so what I do is I try to catch up to the marlin. And then as soon as I did, I realized my bait is 50 yards behind me. And the guys on the boat were going, "They're over there!"
As Jonathan struggles, the marlin race after the fleeing mackerel. The sportsman fears his mission's impossible.
There's only so much I can do, so I'd reel in my bait, and by the time I reeled in my bait, the fish were 100 yards over there.
Jonathan knows his only hope is to find a slow-moving marlin pulling up the rear. A fish swimming behind the pack might be drawn to Jonathan's bait. His hunch is right on target.
Next thing I realized is I was on a fish, and the thing immediately turned my kayak around.
Jonathan's hooked a monster. As the kayak spins in the water, the fish takes off like a torpedo. Any moment, the kayak could dangerously capsize, and the fighting fish could drag Jonathan under. Suddenly, the marlin breaches, trying to throw the hook. Soaring above the water, Jonathan sees the whopper for the first time.
And this thing was like the dream fish. I saw it first leap out of the water, spray glistening in the sun, and I knew that I was on the fight of my life.
Finally, after a 45-minute battle of wills, the marlin starts to slow down. Jonathan makes his move. Marshaling his strength, he pulls as hard as he can. Reeling fast, at last he gets the whopper to the boat. It's massive. It's as long as he is and well over 45 kilos. But the battle isn't over. The sportsman wants to set the marlin free. To do it, he has to wrestle its sharp, spiny bill, unhooking the embedded leader by hand. A dangerous duel. Jonathan moves quickly and carefully.
Take the hook out of his mouth.
He places a hand on the bill sword and eases towards the embedded hook. He's done it.
All right.
Jonathan gently pushes the marlin under.
Took the hook out and everything. See you later, big boy.
The battle of man and fish is over.
When I was able to take the hook out of the marlin's mouth and see it swim away in good health, looked down, I had all 10 fingers. I was like, yee-hoo! It was just an unbelievable experience.
But today, the marlin faces another lethal danger: bycatch. Commercial fisheries go after valuable food like tuna and swordfish using mile-long multi-hooked fishing lines, a practice called longlining. Marlin casualties are part of the cost of doing business.
Marlin do not do very well on a long line. They have to constantly swim in order to breathe. So as a result, they can't be easily released. So many of them die on the line. There are a lot of scientists looking for finding ways to reduce bycatch in longline fisheries because this is where most of the seafood comes from that everybody likes to eat. Many states don't allow the sale of marlin. So as a result, that's one way of protecting them.
Big as a bathtub with a scaly suit of armor. In the world of whoppers, they're the T-Rex of the goldfish family. Siamese giant carp.
The giant Siamese carp is like a goldfish on steroids. They just get really, really fat.
The planet's largest carp can reach gargantuan dimensions. Whoppers have stretched 1.5 meters, weighing over 90 kilos. Impressive size for a frequent vegetarian.
The fact that they get as big as they do is amazing. They eat plant material. They're the cows of the fish world.
One secret to their heft is an appetite to match. Freshwater carp feed ravenously, sucking up food into their hungry mouths. One of their favorite meals, algae, has made the fish popular with commercial fisheries, trying to cut algae overgrowth. Hungry carp eat so much algae, they clean up entire ponds. And in their Asian homelands, the fleshy fish are superstars, highly prized for food and sport. To a fisherman, a whopper carp can be the catch of a career.
It is a hard fish to find. In fishing, the giant carp is the ultimate. It is the best freshwater game you can catch.
July 2007, Bang Samlan Lake, 40 minutes from downtown Bangkok. A thriving fishing mecca known for catfish, snakeheads, and giant carp. Local angler and professional fishing guide Kik Pantopapat stakes out a prime fishing spot on a wooden dock near his home. Kik has a critical goal. He wants to test a custom fishing rod he designed and built himself. Kik's finely crafted gear is famed throughout Thailand. Today, the new reel's making its virgin run. Kik baits and drops his line, hoping to snag a few healthy catfish. He rests his rod on the planks. Suddenly, his reel starts to sing, spinning fast, letting off yards of line in fierce spurts.
After a few spins, it started to move, and then it pulled out the line and didn't stop.
Whatever he's got, it's one of the most powerful fish Kik's ever fought.
This one is really strong, heavy. He was a very disobedient fish.
Desperate to gain leverage, Kik struggles to draw the fish closer to the dock, but the behemoth won't budge.
I was reeling in the fish and trying not to break the rod at the same time. It fought for a good amount of time.
Kik gives a frantic pull and gets a sudden glimpse of a dark, scaly creature. It's enormous. But the Leviathan keeps swimming, this time darting all the way under the dock. The longer the nylon thread rubs against the wooden piling, the more likely it'll snap. Kik calls for help from nearby friend and fisherman Sampit. The men struggle to get the monster into Sampit's net, but they make an alarming discovery. The whopper's so big, it'll rip the net to shreds. It's too heavy to hoist. Now, as the tangled line traps the thrashing fish below, Kik's losing the fight from above. Dropping the fishing rod, Kik dives in to free the line. He swims dangerously close to the writhing fish. One whack of a tail could hit like a punch. The angler grabs hold of the twisted line, untangling it fast. As the fish swims out, Sampit tries to corral it one more time, using the net as a barrier. Kik's running out of breath. He grabs at the fish. Man and beast wrestle in the water,